The plastic chair screeched loudly across the tiled floor as Kemi stood up so fast it nearly fell over. "What did you just say?" Every face in the living room turned toward her. The ceiling fan hummed above their heads, pushing warm air around the room, doing nothing to cool the tension that had suddenly flooded the space. Her aunt sat rigid on the far couch. Her uncle cleared his throat. Her mother stared at the floor. Her cousin Tara sat with her hands clasped together, eyes already watery. Uncle Bayo repeated himself slowly, as if Kemi were a stubborn child. "We said you will be the one to take over Tara's rent." The room went quiet in a way that felt violent. Kemi laughed once, sharp and disbelieving. "No, I must have misheard you. You don't call a whole family meeting to announce something like that. You ask." No one answered immediately. Her aunt finally spoke. "This is not the time for drama. We've talked as a family. Everyone agrees this is the best solution." Kemi turned in a slow circle, scanning the faces she had known her entire life. "Everyone agreed?" she asked. "Without me?" Her mother shifted on the couch but still did not look up. "Kemi, please don't raise your voice." "Don't raise my voice?" Kemi snapped. "You people just assigned me a human bill without asking, and I'm supposed to whisper?" Tara let out a soft sob. "I didn't want it to happen like this." Kemi spun toward her. "Like what? Like an ambush?" "Kemi," Uncle Bayo warned. "No, let her speak," Kemi said. "I want to hear exactly when it was decided that my salary became a public family account." Her aunt crossed her arms. "You live alone. You don't have children. You have the most stable income among the youth in this family. We are not asking for luxury, just help with rent." "How much?" Kemi asked. Tara sniffed. 280,000. Kemi blinked. "Monthly?" Silence. Her head tilted. "Say something." Uncle Bayo nodded. "Yes. Monthly." Kemi laughed again, this time louder, brittle at the edges. "You people are mad." Her mother finally lifted her head. "Watch your words." "No," Kemi said. "I've been watching everyone's words for years. Tonight, I'm done watching." She looked straight at Tara. "How long have you not paid your rent?" Tara's lips parted, then closed again. "Kemi," her aunt cut in. "Don't interrogate her like a criminal." "Then don't present me with a sentence like a judge," Kemi fired back. Tara's voice came out small. 3 months. 3 months, Kemi repeated. "So where has your salary been going for 3 months?" Tara wiped her eyes. "Things have been hard." "That's not an answer." Uncle Bayo slammed his palm lightly on the arm of his chair. "Enough. This is not a court. What matters is that the landlord has issued a final warning. If she doesn't pay by next week, she's out." Kemi folded her arms. "And how exactly does that become my emergency?" Her aunt exhaled impatiently. "Because you have the means, and she doesn't." "That's not true," Kemi said calmly. "She works." "Not enough," her aunt shot back. "So because she doesn't earn enough, I must earn for both of us?" Her mother spoke softly this time. "She's your blood." Kemi stared at her. "So is everyone in this room. I don't see anyone else volunteering." Her cousin's head dropped lower. Uncle Bayo leaned forward. "We are not debating whether you will help. We are only explaining why you must." Kemi's chest rose slowly. "You will not tell me what I must do with my money." "You are being selfish," her aunt said. The word landed like a slap. Selfish. After all the birthdays she had paid for, the hospital bills she had quietly settled, the school fees she had sent without telling anyone. She felt something bitter climb into her throat. "You didn't call me here to ask," Kemi said. "You called me here to pressure me." "We called you because time is running out," her aunt replied. "You called me because you already decided for me." Tara suddenly looked up. "Kemi, please. I'm scared." The way she said it made the room tilt slightly. Kemi's voice dropped. Scared of what? Being thrown out. Having nowhere to go. So you run to family, Kemi said. That part makes sense. What doesn't make sense is turning me into your landlord. Her uncle clicked his tongue. You always make everything sound ugly. Because you do ugly things politely. Her mother finally stood. Kemi, sit down. Kemi did not sit. You're embarrassing us, her mother added. Kemi let out a slow breath. You're embarrassing yourselves. The room erupted. She's always been stubborn. Since she started earning small money. Disrespectful. Ungrateful. Kemi lifted her hand. Enough. The word cut through the noise. She looked at her cousin again. Did you even ask them to do this? Tara hesitated. Kemi's jaw hardened. Answer me. They said they would talk to you, Tara whispered. So you didn't ask me yourself? I was afraid you would say no. Kemi nodded slowly. And instead of risking no, you all chose to corner me with yes. Her aunt scoffed. Don't make it dramatic. Kemi turned to her. You just tried to lock me into a monthly payment that's almost half my salary without my consent. What part of that is not dramatic? Her uncle stood up. You will pay the first installment this week. The rest can be arranged later. Kemi stared at him in disbelief. You already fixed dates? Yes, he said firmly. Kemi picked up her bag from the floor. Then let me be clear now so no one pretends later. I am not paying anything tonight. The room froze. Her mother's face fell. Kemi, I am not saying no forever, Kemi added slowly. But I am definitely not saying yes under threat. Her aunt's voice rose. If she's evicted, it will be on your head. Kemi paused at the doorway. If she's evicted, it will be because she didn't pay her rent. She stepped outside into the night air, her heart pounding in uneven bursts. Behind her, voices rose again, sharp and fast, her name bouncing from mouth to mouth like an accusation. By the time she reached the gate, her phone was already vibrating. First message. Her mother. You didn't have to embarrass us like that. Second message. Her aunt. If anything happens to Tara, God will judge you. Third message. Unknown number. A voice note from Tara. Kemi, please don't abandon me. Kemi leaned against the gate, staring into the dark street, her mind racing. Something about the entire thing felt wrong, and for the first time she decided she would not rush to fix it. Kemi did not sleep that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw her uncle's mouth forming the words, "You will pay," as if it were a law already signed. She kept replaying the meeting, every pause, every glance, every moment where someone had looked away instead of defending her. By morning, her chest felt hollow. Her phone buzzed again just after sunrise. Her mother. We need to talk. Kemi sighed but answered. I'm already at work. You can take a few minutes. I took a few minutes last night. It almost cost me 300,000 naira every month. Her mother was quiet for a moment. Your uncle is very angry. That's his right. You embarrassed him in front of everyone. He embarrassed himself by trying to control my pocket. A sigh crackled through the line. Kemi, Tara is crying. She hasn't eaten since yesterday. Kemi closed her eyes. And that's also my fault? Don't be hard. I'm being realistic. Her mother lowered her voice. He wants you to send at least half of the rent today. Show commitment. Tell him I am not buying shares in a problem he created without consulting me. Her mother exhaled sharply. You think we enjoy putting pressure on you? Kemi laughed softly. You seem very comfortable doing it. The call ended without goodbye. By afternoon, the messages had multiplied. An uncle saying she was breaking family unity. A cousin reminding her how Tara once borrowed her clothes for an interview. A church sister sending a prayer about generosity without mentioning her name. The pressure came from every direction, slow and steady, like hands tightening around her ribs. She finally muted her phone. That evening, she opened Tara's social media. The first photo that loaded made her still. Tara was at a rooftop lounge, hair freshly braided, glass in hand, city lights behind her. The timestamp read 4 days ago. Another swipe showed her in a boutique, posing in a mirror, captioned, "Soft life, only." Kemi stared at the screen. 3 months behind on rent did not look like this. She scrolled deeper. New shoes, weekend road trip, a birthday dinner with sparklers and champagne. None of it screamed desperation. Her chest began to burn. She sent Tara a message. "Where are you now?" The reply came minutes later. "At home." Kemi typed again. "Your real home." A pause. "I don't understand." Kemi did not reply. She grabbed her keys. The estate where Tara lived looked calm on the outside, trimmed hedges and guarded gates. It did not match the picture of someone on the brink of homelessness that had been painted for her. She parked and walked up the stairs, her heart beating harder with each step. Tara opened the door wearing silk pajamas and surprise. "Kemi? Let me in." Tara hesitated, then stepped aside. The apartment was quiet, cool, and very much lived in. The couch was new. The television was large. There were unopened shopping bags by the wall. Kemi took it all in slowly. Where is the desperation everyone was crying about yesterday? Tara folded her arms. Things can look fine and still be bad. Your rent is $280,000, yes? Yes. And you owe 3 months? Yes. That's $840,000. Tara's lips trembled. Yes. Kemi gestured around. So explain to me how someone who owes almost $1 million in rent is buying this much comfort. Tara's eyes darted away. Kemi stepped closer. Tell me the truth. Did the landlord really give a final warning? Yes, Tara whispered. Did he ask for everything at once? No. Kemi inhaled slowly. How much does he actually want right now? Tara hesitated too long. Kemi. How much? 150. Kemi laughed bitterly. So the emergency wasn't even the full amount. They said it would sound more serious if they mentioned the total. The room went very quiet. They, Kemi repeated. Who is they? Tara sat down slowly. Your uncle. My mother. They said if they told you small amount, you wouldn't take it seriously. Kemi felt something snap inside her chest. So they inflated the crisis to frighten me. They said they were just guiding the situation. Kemi nodded slowly. And did you tell them you were still going out? Posting pictures? Spending? Tara swallowed. They told me to be careful what I posted, but I didn't think. You didn't think. Kemi cut in. You just let them build a lie big enough to trap me in. Tara's eyes filled again. I was ashamed to ask you directly. So instead, you let them sacrifice my peace for your shame. Tara said nothing. Kemi turned toward the door. I will not pay anything. Tara rushed to her. Please, Kemi, if you don't help now, this will turn ugly. Kemi looked at her. It already has. By the time she got back into her car, her hands were shaking. The next family meeting was not called politely. It came with commands. Be here by 6. No excuses. Tonight, this matter will end. Kemi arrived with her phone fully charged and her mind clear. She did not greet anyone when she entered. Neither did they. Uncle Bio spoke first. Have you brought the money? Kemi placed her phone on the table. I brought the truth. Her aunt scoffed. There she goes again. Kemi tapped her screen. The rooftop photo filled the display. This was 4 days ago. Was she homeless 4 days ago? Tara lowered her head. She's a young girl, her aunt snapped. Must she stop living because she is in trouble? She should stop living a lie while I'm being sold a disaster. Kemi shot back. Her uncle banged the table. This is not how a child talks to elders. This is how someone who refuses to be used talks. She swiped to the next image. How about this one? New shoes. Another swipe. Weekend trip. Her mother stared at the screen, confused. Kemi turned to her. You told me she had not eaten in 2 days. Is champagne considered food now? Her mother's face shifted. Tara began to cry openly. I didn't mean for it to explode like this. Kemi's voice softened slightly. Then you should have opened your mouth when they were turning it into a bomb. Uncle Bio stood up. Regardless of her lifestyle, she still owes rent. Yes, Kemi replied, but she does not owe me rent. Her aunt shook her head. So you will let her be disgraced? Kemi tilted her head. Is eviction worse than financial slavery? Watch your mouth, her uncle warned. Or what? Kemi asked. Silence stretched. Kemi leaned forward. You chose me because I am quiet, because I do not embarrass people, because I have helped before without making noise. You assumed I would be too afraid of being called wicked to protect myself. Her aunt looked away. Her mother whispered, Kemi, please. Kemi looked at her steadily. Did you agree to this before I even walked into that meeting? Her mother did not answer. The answer was loud enough. Kemi picked up her bag. Then listen carefully. I will not pay today. I will not pay next week. And I will not be blackmailed into paying ever. Her uncle's face hardened. If you leave this house without contributing, do not return as family. Kemi paused. Then she nodded. If family means ownership, then I will leave as a stranger. She walked out to a storm of voices behind her. By the time she reached her car, her phone was ringing again. Her mother. She did not answer. The silence that followed Kemi's exit from the family felt heavier than the shouting that had chased her out. For days, her phone stayed quiet in a way that felt deliberate, like punishment. No guilt messages, no updates, no insults, just nothing. At first, the quiet hurt. By the 4th day, it felt like breathing, room. Then the call came. She was at work when her phone vibrated on her desk. Unknown number. She almost ignored it. Almost. Kemi? The voice asked hesitantly. She recognized Tara instantly. What happened? Kemi said. They locked the gate this morning. Kemi's eyes stayed on her computer screen. Who? The landlord. He came with 2 men. They brought my things outside. Silence stretched between them. They changed the locks, Tara whispered. Kemi exhaled slowly. So you were evicted? Yes. I'm sorry. You're sorry? Tara's voice wavered. Do you know what it feels like to watch your things on the ground while people record with their phones? Kemi did not answer immediately. When she finally spoke, her voice was calm. Do you know what it felt like to be cornered by a room full of adults who tried to decide my future without my consent? Tara began to cry. They promised me you would pay. They promised you with my money. They said you would eventually give in. Kemi closed her eyes. And when I didn't? They said you were wicked. Kemi gave a quiet, humorless laugh. Of course they did. Tara sniffed. I'm at my friend's place. For now. Good. Kemi replied. At least you're not on the street. The call ended awkwardly, with nothing resolved and too much understood. The family did not contact Kemi immediately after the eviction. It took 2 days. Her mother came first. She appeared at Kemi's apartment late one evening without calling ahead. Kemi opened the door and found her standing there with swollen eyes and a face that looked tired in a way it never used to. They sat in silence for a long moment. Why didn't you tell me the truth? Kemi finally asked. Her mother stared at the floor. They said it was better if I didn't interfere. You're my mother. I didn't want to be seen as opposing the family. Kemi nodded slowly. So you let them oppose me instead. Her mother's shoulders slumped. You've always been strong. That's not permission to be used. Her mother wiped her face. They regret how it happened. Kemi's eyes lifted. Do they regret the eviction, or do they regret that I didn't pay before it happened? Her mother had no answer. 2 days later, the uncle called. He did not greet her. The situation escalated faster than we expected. Kemi almost laughed. Situations tend to do that when built on lies. She had to move out, he said stiffly. Yes, you already said that. You could still help her restart. Kemi was silent for a moment. Is this where you apologize first, or do you skip that part and go straight to another demand? He did not reply. Kemi ended the call. The truth did not spread immediately. Families rarely rush to carry stories that expose their own hands, but the truth has a way of leaking through gaps no one notices at first. Tara moved in with a coworker. That coworker talked. Someone mentioned the inflated rent. Someone mentioned the shopping. Someone mentioned the party photos. Someone mentioned how the family meeting had already decided Kemi's role without asking. Whispers grew louder. By the second week, the narrative shifted. The same relatives who had been loud about Kemi's wickedness began speaking softly. By the third week, apologies began arriving in fragments. An aunt sent a message that said, "We all make mistakes." An uncle said, "You know how family pressure can be." A cousin sent, "If I were in your shoes, I would have reacted too." None of them said, "We were wrong." But the tone had changed. Tara came last. She stood at Kemi's door one Saturday afternoon, looking smaller than she used to. No silk pajamas this time, no gloss, no confidence. "I lost my job last week," she said. Kemi leaned against the door frame. "I'm sorry." "They said they needed someone who lived closer." "That happens." Tara hesitated. "I don't expect you to help me anymore." Kemi studied her face. "Good." Tara swallowed. "I just wanted you to know. I shouldn't have let them do that to you." Kemi nodded. "You shouldn't have." There was nothing else to say. Months passed. The family dynamic never fully recovered. Meetings became awkward. Conversations became careful. No one volunteered Kemi's money again. They learned finally that silence was not submission. Kemi's life grew quieter in a different way. Not lonely, just peaceful. For the first time, her paychecks belonged completely to her. No emergency calls, no sudden obligations, no invisible contracts drawn in other people's living rooms. One evening, she sat on her balcony, phone in hand, watching the city lights blink on one by one. A message came in from her mother. "I miss how things used to be." Kemi typed back slowly. "So do I." But not enough to go back. She put the phone down. Somewhere across the city, Tara was starting over in a smaller apartment with shared rent and no buffer of family promises. Somewhere else, relatives who once spoke loudly about loyalty now spoke carefully about consent. And Kemi sat in her own space, paying only for the life she had chosen, not the one assigned to her. If this story made you angry, conflicted, or reflective, don't forget to like this video so more people can find stories like this. Share your thoughts in the comments. Would you have paid the rent, or would you have walked away like Kemi? And if you're new here, subscribe for more real-life inspired stories that expose family pressure, emotional manipulation, and the power of boundaries. Because sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say to family is no.